Howdy, and welcome back to Newgrounds. The year is 2007, when you weren't quite as sad and lonely as you are now. Anyway, animation's pretty cool, right? Today we're talking about a trend that I've seen gain a bit of momentum in the past few years. And that, of course, is this boom in quality online animation. Animated videos have existed since computers became commonplace, with the oldest examples cropping up in the late 90s, like the goddamn George Liquor program, and Whirlgirl, whose third video in the trailers and clips section on Google is from a channel called Vor in Media. So you know it's gotta be good. But those were made by companies for their websites, and that's just not fun. One of the first and biggest independent series online is Homestar Runner, with their Strong Bad Email Bits being the most popular. These are like the most early 2000s videos I've ever seen. They're like if you drained all of the internet from the early 2000s into a bottle and then drank it, you'd fucking black out and only remember clips from this series. But today we aren't talking about Homestar Runner, or Ed's World, or Salad Fingers, or Animation Versus, or ASDF Movie, or Happy Tree Friends, or Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, which is more puppetry, but there's animated segments, and also it just kind of fits in with the vibe of the rest of them. We're talking about the projects of today. And by today, I mean like the past 4 years or so. I feel like there was a gap between the non-stop barrage of classics from like early 2012 to late 2019, which is even more confirmed to me because I don't really remember anything that came out in that period of time, despite it being A, very formative age for me, and B, a time where my eyes were constantly glued to YouTube. And sure, there were still videos being released, like older series getting more episodes or some fun short films, but a lot of the new stuff just felt like companies and brands jumping onto the bandwagon. But recently, there's just been this influx in high-quality animation being posted on the internet, and I want to fucking talk about it, with the first two being Hazbin Hotel and Helluva Boss. Before I talk about them and why they're cool, I just want to bring up that I'm not like a stan of these projects, except for maybe one that I really like, but you know. So just go easy in the comments, I guess, because especially with these two shows, there's some very, very passionate fans. Also, there may be some controversies stemming from some of these projects, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm not super up to date with what's going on behind the scenes, because mentally, I cannot be a drama channel. I am not broken enough for that. Fucking check back in a couple of years, who knows. This video is to just kind of bring everything together and show you that there's some really cool quality shit on the internet, you know? So let's get into it. Hazbin Hotel and Helluva Boss are two series made by the same people that originated as pilots. Hazbin first and then Helluva Boss second. Hazbin was a huge deal when it first released, for multiple reasons. One, it was an animated pilot with professional quality kind of baked into all aspects of it, but two, it still felt really independent, and that's because it was. It was a small team of creators who came together to make this mold-breaking episode that really changed a lot of people's perspectives on how internet creators can create in this medium. And then they fucking delivered again with Helluva Boss. Hazbin was more focused on world building and drama and the musical side of things, whereas Helluva Boss felt more comedic and surprising. There were a lot of moments even in that pilot where my expectations were subverted.
They wanted us to kill an actual child.
That's what they're saying.
Well, Christ on a stick, I guess there is a God.
And it was all wrapped up in a style that really resonated with a lot of people. It was bright and colorful, but with plenty of edge. Now, there isn't much to say on Hazbin since, it hasn't been released yet due to the strikes that are currently going on, except for the fact that it was picked up by A24, holy shit. But since Helluva Boss isn't WGA or SAG-AFTRA based, it's kind of been going hard. There's been, 4 episodes in the past 4 months? And every single time, it's just millions and millions of views. Sure, numbers aren't everything, but it makes it abundantly clear that people fucking love this show. And it's all up for free on YouTube. I will say it again and again. That's fucking crazy. Whether or not you like the style, story, characters, writing, etc., you have to admit that it's still fucking cool, man. The quality of this is huge, and the fact that it's being sustained off of merchandising and Patreon?
Nice approach!
Again, like the show or not, the fact that it can exist on YouTube is insane. And I think it opened up some people's eyes on what can be created here on the platform, which makes it at least a little less scary to go for shit like that, you know? I think any pilot that exists or will exist would be just fine without it. But the fact that it's there is setting a precedent that's super important. I'm gonna make a weird connection, but I see these projects in the same exact way that I see the recent Smosh buyout. If that team can make sketch comedy more financially viable, then more people are gonna be inspired to try stuff like that. And I think that's the best part of these shows. I wasn't super up to date on them, but for this video I went back and rewatched the pilots and I've been binging all of Helluva Boss. After putting off editing the bulk of the video, I caught up with the rest of the series. And also I fucking moved, so cool. It's part of the reason why I haven't uploaded in a while. All I wanted to do is jump in and say I really like the series, the character design is great, the world building is a lot better than I would have assumed it would be, after watching the pilot, that is. And I might make a full video on it when season 2 like fully wraps up. So, I don't know, stay tuned for that, I guess. Goodbye. I don't have any concrete opinions on them because there's a lot of Helluva Boss and it's not even finished yet, and Hazbin wasn't and still isn't my cup of tea. But, all in all, I'm still really glad they're here. Next, we're gonna talk about Lackadaisy. I first caught wind of this pilot when Sungwon Cho put out like a community post or like a tweet or something, and yeah, dude, I was hyped up. I looked into it and I was like super interested in how it was going to turn out because from what I'd seen, it looked so unique. And then I completely missed its release. Oops. But I finally got around to watching it, and my god, it's incredible. It follows a crew of alcohol smugglers as they try to make a delivery to their employers. The storytelling sets up all you'd need in a pilot, but it's so gradual. It gets you invested in the world and characters while introducing plot points and dynamics to the very end. It was released this year on March 29th and was a huge success. The pilot has over 10 million views and over 770,000 likes. And for good reason. The artwork and animation is so full of character and life. The facial expressions and even the way characters move shows how much thought and effort was put into this. The voice acting was great, the music slaps. The two best parts of this to me were the lighting and the world, the setting. Every time there was an incredible shot filled with wonderful light work, I went, oh yeah, that's the big money shot. And then they did it again. And again. And again, and again, and again. The same can be said of the shots with the distinct lack of light. They would do these dark silhouette shots that really caught my eye. I mean, look at this, man. The world building was also really special. It's all set in the late 20s, but the focus is on the darker side of things, with gangs, the prohibition, and some notes of wealth corruption. The time period in which it takes place is such an intriguing core part of the story. Luckily, there's more Lackadaisy content on the way, with the sort of mini-series slated to release next year. But in the meantime, go check out the pilot if you missed it. It's a new day. I got a new hoodie on. No, it's fucking raining, so great. We're the Kids is a creator that's been around for quite some time, but BIGTOP Burger has just been so fun to watch and experience. At first, I thought it was some goofy, silly little comedy series, but after seeing Down, the second most recent episode, I've been completely enamored by it. First off, stylized 3D animation that blends seamlessly into the 2D animation is fucking wild. And good. He's really showing off those blender skills. It started out as this funny, absurdist miniseries, and with the addition of Up, the most recent episode, featuring the voice of Gravity Falls creator Alex Hirsch, what the fuck?
This is the most vital performance in the entire world!
It's proven itself to be something truly special. The subtlety of the writing, the vocal performances, the music. We're the Kids subtly set up Steve's backstory in the intro song, and it was fully realized 3 years later in an episode. The animation quality might not look jaw-dropping to you, but the stylization of the characters shows off the prowess that Ian really has. And dude, the hammer sequence from Down, like, phenomenal. I don't want to spoil too much, so I'll cool it for now, but this is a series that fully utilizes the platform that it's on. and that's reflected in the consistency of its views. Every standalone episode consistently gets between 1 to 2 mil, and that's crazy because there's no real drop-off happening. It's just every episode people are loving and people are watching. That's hard to do on YouTube, from what I can tell, so like, that's gotta mean something, you know? It might not seem like it fits in too much with the other examples in this video, but god damn it, it's due some credit here. Also, it's just fucking funny as hell.
I honestly didn't know there were this many food trucks. In general. What are these guys even selling?
It looks like, guitars?
It's not food.
It's not.
Long Gone Gulch. Now that's a name I haven't seen in a while. I distinctly remember this one coming out. And yeah, people were raving about it. It's got quite the nostalgic feel to it. Its inspirations are very clear, with the early to mid 2000s Nickelodeon vibes radiating off of the entire episode. The quality of the character animation is incredible. The over-the-top expressions from all the characters is such a good utilization of the medium of animation. And that music kind of makes me want to unleash my inner country boy. Just kidding. That boy does not exist. The designs are fun and distinct, the voice acting's great, the setting's a solid one, and the writing's just charming as hell.
What are we looking at here, boys? Well, form's wrong. Composition's off. Tangent. Seems to celebrate a basic lack of understanding. It's perfect.
There's been no news on any kind of further additions in this series, but I'm hoping that more eyes on the show will help it out in some way. Go check it out if you haven't. There's so many others too, but a few that especially caught my eye were Tales from Scorchwater Valley. I love a good stylized 3D piece, and it really shows off the crew's abilities to write fun character dynamics. And Hidari, which is fucking phenomenal. Stop motion is incredible to watch, and that short had me saying fuck yeah the entire time. Plus the song fucking bangs. Plus, there are also short films like The Legend of Pippi, Fueled. Why are there so many cats? What the fuck? And Jack Stauber's Opal, which I might be making a video on, along with some of his other works, hopefully in October, fingers crossed. But yeah, I kind of think we're in this renaissance of YouTube animation. And dare I say it, a fucking golden era. There's so much incredible stuff being put out, and it's only happening more and more. Hey, let me know some animated series, pilots, or short films to watch in the comments, because they just make me so happy to watch, man. Also, like the video and subscribe for more stuff. I make stuff. Leave.